it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you what you can learn from McDonald and Gasquet to help you win a lot more singles matches. Now first, this video is courtesy of Court Level Tennis here on YouTube, an incredible account of, yes, court level videos of the pros. Unbelievable content. I have put their link in the description below. Please give them a follow. So this point, I think, is so classic and so simple to copy, to be honest, yet more recreational players need to copy some of these things that really we only see the pros doing, even though they are so simple. So here we've got Gasquet serving, and the first thing I want you to notice is his technique. He's got an abbreviated motion here. He doesn't go across his feet the way you see Serena or Pete Sampras or even Roger Federer. He keeps the racket up almost like an overhead, strings pointing down, knocking off the birthday hat, tosses to the right of his head. I absolutely love that. Rackets on edge and pronates. Strings are facing to the left of contact, then to the right. Absolutely love his service motion. It's awesome. I wish he would tuck his left arm in against his body more. I think that would actually help him add a few more miles per hour, but no problem. He's an amazing player. There's the balance with the back foot kicking up. You can see him jump inside the baseline when he's done, and then he comes back to the baseline to prepare for the next shot. Now let's look at Mackenzie on the return. Well, we really have to talk about with the return is the split step, is that you want to be split stepping as the opponent strikes the ball. So watch the split step. Here's contact, and you'll notice that Mackenzie is in the air, and he doesn't land the split step until now. So the timing of the split step is actually, and it doesn't matter if you're going to the net or if you're rallying or if it's a return to serve. Anytime you split step and you want to split step as the opponent hits, the specific timing is to be in the air as your opponent hits and land the split step after they hit. That synchronizes your brain recognizing where the ball is going with your feet hitting the ground. And then you can, with that bounce of the ground, you can propel in any direction, whether it's moving toward the ball, left or right, or maybe moving out of the way of the ball. And that's exactly what happens. Gasquet hits a great serve right to McDonald's body, and Mackenzie does a good job just even fighting this ball off and putting it back down the middle just to be consistent with this ball. He was in trouble. Now, anytime your opponent hits a short ball to you, and this is a very short ball, you need to think attack. You need to attack, and you don't want to think attack with the shot necessarily, but you want to attack by advancing toward the net. The short ball is one of the 3 times you go to the net. You can go to the net on a serve volley, you can go to the net when your opponent's in trouble, and you can go to the net on a short ball. So when you get a short ball, you need to attack. A short ball is a ball that you need to go forward to get to that ball before it bounces a second time. So he moves forward, and you'll see him playing this ball below net level. Anytime you are going forward and you're playing the ball below net level, I shouldn't say anytime, but most times when you're playing below net level, you're going to be using a closed stance. A nice, easy way of knowing what stance to use is the lower the ball is, that when you're going to contact, the more closed the stance, and the higher the ball is, the more open the stance. Of course, that is not true for every situation, but it is definitely true more than it is not true. So when the ball is low, typically that is when you're going to use the closed stance. Now, specifically, every action has an equal and opposite, right? So when you get into a closed stance and you're going to swing your right arm forward, guess which direction your right leg moves? Your right leg moves back. And this is like what a bowler does. You know, the bowlers, when they bowl, they throw the ball and their leg kicks back. So this is a very common situation. So when you do this, you have to make sure that you hop with your front foot. So this is when you hop. You'll see the pros do this often on a short ball when it's low. They will hop on their front foot. So look at his left foot hop. Watch it again. Watch his left foot hop because his right foot is kicking behind him. So since his body movement is going forward, his momentum is pulling him in, he has to hop to keep his balance while his right leg has a chance to then swing forward, which it does. Now, talking about the split step timing, look at Mackenzie. After he hit that return, and Mackenzie now is going back toward the middle because he doesn't know if Gasquet is going to hit the ball cross court or down the line, so he's got to get in the middle. The timing of the split step, you can see Mackenzie is in the air, and then Mackenzie lands now. Watch Mackenzie. He's in the air as the approach shot is hit, and then he lands after. Now let's talk about this target that Gasquet hits. Gasquet, with his approach shot, does not hit the ball off the court. Now, it was pretty difficult to do that anyway because it was a low ball, but I really want to talk about this subject because if you can copy this, you will get passed less often. Your opponent will not pass you as often. I want you to notice where Mackenzie is standing. He is standing, if I extend the singles line, he is standing well inside the singles line. He's standing to the inside of the singles line because that's where Gasquet hit the ball. When you put your opponent here and they have to hit a passing shot, their passing shot, the way the ball will travel, will be closer to you. So let's just talk about this. This is the down the line passing shot. So that is the straight line. If you just think about the way the ball is going to travel, that is the way the ball is going to travel on a down the line passing shot. And when it comes to the cross court pass, it's the same thing. This is the cross court passing shot. Now, of course, the ball doesn't travel like that. A ball travels in an arc, but I'm just giving you a straight line so we can understand this. He is putting himself, let me redo these lines again. I actually messed that up. There we go. These are the two passing shots that can be hit. Now, when you put your opponent over here, making contact with the ball, rather than what is actually happening, which is there, when you put your opponent over here and they go for a down the line passing shot, the line, this line, is farther from you. So when you hit an approach shot and you move your opponent off the court, it actually becomes very easy. I shouldn't say very easy, but I'll say easier for them to hit a passing shot down the line on you. You see, Nadal do this with his banana forehand. When you pull your opponent off the court, you will get passed more often. So this is called a safety post. You actually want to keep them to the inside of the singles line. That means, yes, are they a little more on balance maybe when they get to the ball? Sure, but it's actually more difficult for them just with the line that we draw. It's actually more difficult for them to get the ball around you. So don't feel like you have to pull your opponent off the court if you're going to hit an approach shot. Now, what is the exception on this? Well, you can see Gasquet is playing this ball below net level. When you're playing the ball below net level, keep the ball to the inside of the singles lines, and then it's harder for them to pass you. Now, if he was playing the ball up here, and he's just going to crush this ball off the court, then he doesn't care if the ball is going to go off the court. In fact, he would rather the ball go off the court so it's farther away. The idea is simple. If you're hitting an approach shot, and the definition of an approach shot is you are planning on hitting a subsequent ball, which we can see him doing here, then don't pull your opponent off the court, but rather just move them a foot or two inside the singles line, which you can see Mackenzie doing over there, and then it's actually much harder for them to pass you. So now let's talk about where Gasquet moves after he hits this perfect approach shot. He hits this great approach shot, and I wish the approach shot was a little deeper, but the direction he's hitting is great, so it actually makes up for that. Now look where Gasquet is first just standing. Notice he is not straddling the center tee, but he's slightly skewed to the right. The reason is because he's bisecting where Mackenzie can hit the ball. You want to be equidistant to the down the line pass and the cross court pass. And the way you do that is by standing slightly on the same side of the court as your opponent. When Mackenzie goes this way, Gasquet goes slightly that same direction. And the same is true over here. If the approach shot was that way, he'd be slightly over here. Now, when you do this, you then have to split step. You have to split step, and you'll be in the air, which we can see that now. Gasquet is in the air as Mackenzie's hitting this backhand, and then he lands the split step after. That is the proper timing. And now he is equidistant. He can cut off a down the line pass, and he can cut off a cross court pass. He's equidistant to where he's going to have to cover, no different than an ice hockey goalie, soccer, football keeper, lacrosse, field hockey. Anytime there's a goalie or a person who is trying to cover an amount of space, you want to bisect where your opponent can hit the ball. And you bisect at the net by being slightly on the same side of the court. Now, Gasquet gets a ball that comes right to him. I'm sure Mackenzie didn't mean to do this, give it right to him. He's probably trying to keep the ball much lower, but that's one of the benefits of going to the net, right? You put the pressure on your opponent and they have to come up with a great shot, like, a shot at your feet or whatever, which isn't super easy, especially when you hit a great approach shot. So here is where I see a lot of amateurs make a mistake. First off, look at this technique. I mean, unbelievable. His hitting hand is below the contact of the ball, which means the racket is above his hand. You always want to keep your hitting hand below contact, unless it's a really low ball, but you got the idea. You want to keep your hitting hand below contact. That keeps the wrist cocked, keeps the wrist firm, and you can hit a much stronger volley. But I want you to notice where he makes this ball land. He's going to make this ball land in that circle. He's not trying to hit the ball super deep. A big mistake I see players making is they hit deep volleys into the open court. The deeper the volley when hitting to the open court, generally the closer it is to your opponent, and then they can get to the ball. So what you actually want to do is you want to make your ball land in the service box. That's exactly what happens. Watch where this ball lands. Lands right in the service box, right there. And it goes way off the court. Mackenzie has no chance hitting this ball. So when you come to the net, it's a great idea to hit the ball to the backhand, which is, I love that he did that. He split stepped and Mackenzie then hit it to his forehand volley. Hit the volley into the open court, but short. Don't crush it. And you win a lot more of those points. So let's go over this again. I absolutely love the body serve. Served it right to Mackenzie's body. Mackenzie hits a weak return. Gasquet moves forward, leans on his front foot, which is why, watch his left foot. He hops on that left foot. Hits the ball down the line, but keeps the ball inside the line to actually make it harder for Mackenzie to hit the pass. Mackenzie tries to either pass down the line or keep the ball low, but he really did neither. But I mean, he's an amazing player, so who am I to judge him from this standpoint? It's not like I always hit my targets. If I did, I'd be on TV, playing tennis. And then Gasquet is on the same side of the court, slightly skewed that way, and then knocks off the volley easy into the opposite service box. So let's watch this point 3 times in a row. I want you to look for the ideas we just covered. So copy these ideas, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Ritty from 2MinuteTennis.net. You got this.